Good morning, guys. So it is early, and I am very, very tired this morning. So I am fixing Caleb's lunch for school today, and I figured I would start this video because it's been quite the morning. So it's probably about 7:20 or something now. The boys are still asleep. I'm going to go wake them up in a minute. But around 4:30 this morning, I woke up because I started hearing the coyotes howling. And so I went to go check on the animals. So I went and I opened the door to go outside. And as soon as I opened the door, one of our turkeys was sitting on the front porch. I was like, oh, that's not a good sign. So I go and I get in my car, and, I can't see very well in the dark. I wear contacts. My car is frosted over, but I'm definitely not going to walk around in the dark. So I go and I get in my car, and I drive kind of around the pasture and stuff, and I don't see any of our animals. I finally see one of our sheep, and she's in the barn, kind of curled up in the corner. But other than that one turkey and that one sheep, I don't see any of our animals. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the coyotes have gotten all of our animals. They got all of our sheep. They got all of our turkeys, yada yada. I go back up to the house. I get the one turkey that we have left, and I put it in what we call the puppy pen, which is not actually used for puppies anymore. It's used for like sick chickens or new chickens or something like that. So I go and I pick up the turkey, which is unusual in itself because usually we can't get our hands on these turkeys. And I go and I put them in the puppy pen. And of course, I'm full of adrenaline and I can't get back to sleep. So I just kind of lay there and think and wonder what in the world, I lost all of our animals. So this morning I get up early and I go out there, and thankfully there's signs of other animals. So there's the one turkey that's in the puppy pen. There's another turkey that's on the outside of the puppy pen, talking to the one in there. There's another turkey that's wandering around outside the pasture. There's a turkey on the roof of the barn, and then there's a few more. But now that it's light outside, I can see that there are feathers everywhere. So the coyotes got into our pasture, and so when I finally counted up, we had 7 turkeys. So the coyotes got 4 turkeys last night. And so at this point, I still haven't seen any more of the sheep. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what about my sheep though? Because we're supposed to be getting a new ram next week to go with our sheep. But I don't want to get the ram if, we have no sheep. So finally, after calling sheep, the 4 other sheep come walking about. I don't know where they were, but they showed up. I was so grateful for it. So what I think happened, and after I drop Caleb off, I'm going to go walk the fence line. What I think happened is the electric netting that we have as kind of a secondary pasture drooped down enough that the coyotes could jump over that. And then the bottom part of the pasture, the fence, must have blew open or something like that. And I think they came in through that fence. And then that led them to the rest of the pasture. But I'm going to finish fixing Caleb's lunch. And then I'm going to go check it out. So he's going to have peanut butter and jelly. Blueberries. He's going to have these. I picked these up the other day. They're little ghost chocolates. He'll have potato chips for snack. And then he'll have something else. I haven't decided what the something else will be, but I'll figure it out as I'm packing. All right, so this ended up being Caleb's lunch. Peanut butter and jelly, little ghost, baby bell cheese, blueberries, and potato chips. And I'm going to go grab a juice box to go right here. All right, so it is probably about 6:30. It's going to start getting dark soon. So I'm actually going to go here and try to work on the fence a little bit. I walked the property earlier, and I think I know how the coyotes got in. I'm going to cut off the solar panel so I can walk across. All right, so if you look, this is like our secondary pasture. You see it has the netting. It's supposed to be electrified, but sometimes it gets grounded out. And before Hurricane Helene, we actually had that gate over there closed. So that way they couldn't come into this part of the pasture right now. But the hurricane blew it open, and we didn't think it was that big of an issue. But then, you know, this happened. And so I think the coyotes actually jumped over some of the netting that had shorted out and wasn't electrified anymore. Well, especially like, I don't know if you can see over there, but that is a super low spot. I mean, that wouldn't require very much effort to jump. So I think they jumped over there and then just kind of went through the open gate and then up into our pasture. So I am going to I'm going to secure the gate. And I also got patins that I'm going to hang up a little bit closer to the barn in hopes that if they do make it that far, it kind of scares them off. I'm in between the pastures right now, and I'm going to zip tie this part of the fence. All right, so I zip tied it closed like that. Oh, I forgot there was actually a lamb over on this side with me. So I'll have to go back up and get the lamb and put her through whenever she comes over. But I also went on to put one of the patins, so if they come up and start sniffing, hopefully it starts making noise. Come here! Come here! Hey, I'm over here! Okay, she's taking her time. She's fine. So as you can see, my dog is over there in the corner, and she is very interested, and she just rolled in something. So I definitely think she's seeing the signs. So I'm going to go down a little bit so I can hop fence. But see, like, we have some limbs right there and stuff that are touching the fence that probably grounded it out. And guys, it is cold today. Like, I can't believe how cold it has gotten. We were at the beach like 3 days ago and got sunburned and we're sweating. And here it is, like, sweatshirt weather, boots, and for me to not wear flip-flops, that means it is definitely pretty chilly. And I hate it because, I mean, we're fortunate. We have a wood stove, we have a house, we have power now, internet. I mean, we're pretty much back to living life as normal. But, you know, a little bit further up the mountain, there are people that don't have homes, that are having to sleep outside, and they're getting snow in some parts. And that is incredible to me, and I hate it so much for them, and I wish there was more that we could do. So one of the kitties has joined us. This is Black Panther. So that's the lamb that's coming towards me. Over there is the other 4 lambs that are wondering what in the world I'm doing. And we actually have we recently sold the 2 ram lambs. Probably about a week ago we sold them. And we're hopefully picking up our new ram next week. We're hoping that everything works out, and it's supposed to be a Shetland. And I think that'll be a good mix. So that's Sunday over there. She is our smallest lamb and our oldest one. Alright, so when I was doing my check earlier, I noticed that this seemed a little loose. I think it's where a limb fell on it, but it seems a little looser than normal. So I'm going to actually, I think, maybe zip tie this and maybe zip tie down there to give it a little bit more structure. But you can see, and you probably can't see, but I'll take you up there. Right up that hill is some turkey feathers. And then there's a few other spots along the fence line where they took the turkeys out. And none of this is meant to be a permanent solution. This is all kind of a last minute, hey, something really bad is happening. Let's try to mitigate it a little bit whilst we figure out better solutions. So I'm actually falling. Crossing, because when I walked earlier, I went on the inside of the fence, and this time I wanted to go on the outside of the fence. Because I kind of do want to see what's going on. I mean, there's always that hope that maybe there's like a random turkey that escaped and is high up in the trees or something like that. Because if they could get away and get up the trees, it would be an excellent place for them to go. Let's see, we got turkey feathers there. Some more turkey feathers. And the turkeys on their own wouldn't be out this far. But also I'm trying to kind of gather if I can figure out where they came from. Is there any common denominator about how they got in? Is there anything suspicious? No, that's just a rotten log. Come on, Kiki. The creek crossing should be up here shortly. And that's another area that could be a point of concern. And there it is. So actually I'll go up because, oh my, that's a big one. That one must have fell in the hurricane. Because I did notice when I was doing the walk, so there's the creek crossing right down there. There's a clump of feathers right there. And there's feathers all down here. See, there's actually a whole trail. Oh my, there's actually quite a few big trees that fell from the storm. But my biggest concern is, did they get out of the pasture the same way they got in? Like, or are they discovering new ways to get in? Oh, so this was definitely a big spot. Like, yeah, look at that big tree. That's huge. That one was not already down. Wow. Okay, go back to the crossing. And there's a clump of feathers over there. See, right across, and that's in our pasture, and that worries me because I wonder, there's the creek crossing. Right over there was more feathers. In fact, there's actually a whole wing right there. So I worry that the creek crossing may not have been as secure at the bottom as we hoped, and he caught there and went underneath. And that is a huge worry of mine. Because sometimes with these big storms, it blows out at the bottom, and we try to secure it, and we assume we're doing a good job. But then something like this happens, and we're like, did we? So I'm going to hop down and put a couple of logs at the bottom. I will say the one thing that's nice is that there's a lot of mud down here. And in the mud, I can see tracks. And that looks like that might be a paw print, but that's not a very big paw print. Oh, but, let me see this. So yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. He went underneath the creek crossing with his turkey and went up right up that way. Ooh. Okay. All right, so we're gonna fix this up, and there's enough sticks and stuff are going to kind of dam it up a little bit. But what I was saying, it's kind of nice. It's that you can see the tracks in the mud to see what's been coming through here. And you see deer and stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to put the phone down for a second. I'm going to tie a pattern to this, so if they touch it, hopefully it jingles, and put some blocks there. All right, so not perfect by any means, but this was really loose, that fence panel. So I popped it back into place a little bit and kind of rigged up a little blockage so at least it's secure. And then I put that up there. So if they do happen to touch it, should jiggle. So where the cat is a clump of feathers. Right there is where the fence is. So like I said, I don't know if this is the direction they happen to be going and that's when he stopped, or if he got out somewhere. That looks like maybe a big paw print. That's definitely a deer. But it's hard to tell because my dog comes this way as well. So am I seeing coyote prints? Or am I seeing my dog prints? I don't know, that looks like more like a raccoon. Maybe something came out under here. And, oops, if I don't fall, I can hop down there. Oh, okay. I don't know where something could have gotten out. This is the other creek crossing. I mean, it's pretty high. There's no feathers that look fresh. There is some paw prints here. And let's see. Some paw prints here. But again, that looks kind of like raccoon. Now that one's that big. So to put it in perspective of my hand, it's the size of the palm of my hand. That is definitely not my dog. So somehow here, again, I don't know how, something got out. So I'm going to put some things here to try to secure it, I guess. Like I said, this one is a possible one for me. I can't figure out how something would have got in or out unless right there, but oh, actually, that's bent. Could a coyote fit through that? I don't know. I'll zip tie it. All right, I'm gonna put this down. So I got that one zip tied. Any openings, that's blocked off. That had potential. I could see a coyote going up underneath there and coming out. So I zip tied it and I put this, so hopefully if it kind of goes, it'll hit there. I couldn't get it any closer because that's kind of really, the rebar thing is kind of really jammed in there. But I think that's all I can do for right now. My dog decided to join us again. The cat's still hanging strong. So there's the 7 that we have left. They're sticking pretty close up here. These look no worse for wear. When I came out this morning, you know, the one was in the puppy pen that I had put in there last night. I didn't think we had any left this morning. I thought all the sheep but one was gone and all the turkeys but one, the one that I saved. But no, there was a turkey up in that tree, a turkey there, turkey in the puppy pen, and then there was 3 other turkeys that were still inside here, and then 1 other turkey that was out.